Morning everyone, my name is Eric Peniata with City of Riverside Fire Department. We're here out today to do a update on high point operations with the new truck companies. Unfortunately, with a lot of the stuff that's happening in the city, some drivers and some certified drivers weren't able to attend. We're doing a quick tutorial on the things that we need to do to place a high point in operation. One of the things that we need to first talk about is the safety and why we're using the high point. It's basically being used for an operation where we can't get to the subject either with ladders or normal means. So we're going to be utilizing the ladder to either lift the patient or lower the patient down to an area where they can be rescued. Okay, a couple of different things. We're going to break it down into 4 different categories. Is rigging the patient into the stokes and lashing the patient into the stokes. You're also going to need to know what type of operation you're going to be utilizing, where you're either going to be utilizing the straps, which is a 10-foot strap, a 20-foot strap, or you can combine them both together to give you a 30-foot strap utilizing the load bar. In addition to that, if you need to go greater than 30 feet, you can use the life pulley system. The life pulley system is a rope system which will give you more length to utilize to rescue the people or your patient off of a building or below ground. So when you arrive on scene, you want to basically evaluate your objective. If you have a patient down here below, it looks like it's going to be within a 30-foot range of the strap system. If it looks like it's going to be greater than 30 feet, then obviously you're going to have to use the life pulley system. Once you place your aerial apparatus in the location that's best suited for the rescue, go ahead and deploy your aerial ladder system. Once the ladder is set, the tiller operator's responsibilities are to check the ladder and make sure that it's in rescue mode. That way that the nozzle is retracted away from the tip. So just confirming that it is in rescue mode. The cab firefighter will then open up the compartment where the components are for the load bar system, retrieve the load bar, and hand it to the tiller operator. In addition, the cab firefighter will pull out the straps and assemble the straps and connections based upon the objective that they're trying to meet. In this particular operation, we're going to join the 10-foot strap and the 20-foot strap together to give us a total length of 30 feet. In some situations, it is imperative to assemble at the tip from the tiller box because once you lift the ladder from the bed, you may not be able to reach the load bar. So assembling prior to lifting out of bed is preferred. Once the tip is rigged, the 2 firefighters will then retrieve the stokes basket from its compartment. Firefighters will then place the stokes in a location that they can attach to the straps themselves. Connecting the stokes to the strap using the triangle screw links together. Do not use a carabiner between the 2. Once the stokes is assembled to the strap, a tagline will be attached to the stokes. Weaving the tagline to the stokes, you'll do 1 round turn around the stokes bar and another round turn on the interior of the other stokes bar, and then attaching it to the inline figure 8, which will give you your tagline attached to the stokes. Once the stokes is connected and the tagline is connected, The engineer or driver operator can then lift the ladder out of the bed. During this operation, both with the load strap and the life pulley system, the aerial ladder will be in low idle. At no point in time shall the ladder be in fast idle or high idle. It is important when the load bar is connected or the life pulley system is connected that the aerial ladder is extended enough that the nozzle does not interfere with any of the rigging. During the operation, you want to make sure that you have a spotter giving hand signals to assist the driver operator. Driver operator will then extend and lower the stokes to a ground crew for the rescue operation. The patient will then be placed into the stokes basket and strapped in accordingly. First, starting with the pelvic harness. Come up through the crotch, connect around the legs, cinch down. And then with the shoulder harness, coming down through the pelvic harness and back up. Once the interior lashing is completed, we'll move to the exterior lashing. You have a blue and red webbing. Both of them cross connect with rings back and forth. Once all the rings are connected, work your way from the top to the bottom to do a final cinch. You'll repeat this process with the red strapping. In this situation, we kept the stokes bridle connected. In some scenarios, you may need to totally disconnect the stokes to bring the stokes closer to your patient. Once the patient is packaged, the driver operator or engineer will lift the stokes up to a waist-high location and pause for a moment for the ground crew or rescue crew to adjust any strapping as needed. Once the patient is packaged, the aerial ladder can be lifted and rotated to its final destination. Once again, everything is in low idle, slow operation. This particular operation is probably going to be the most common that you're going to see in the field. It's the easiest, most efficient, but it is limiting to 30 feet and gives you the highest capacity of 750 pounds or 675 minus the gear. So the second operation is going to be the life pulley system. This is going to be used if you need an extended length greater than 30 feet and for more precision into a confined space. The tiller operator will then come out of the box and make sure that the ladder is in rescue mode. The cab firefighter again is going to be handing up equipment to the tiller operator to connect to the tip. Life pulley will be handed to the topside firefighter. Life pulley will be placed in the holes set back from the load bar connections, which you can see here in the tip. Pins will be placed making sure that there's a positive connection with the pulley. The ground firefighter will then retrieve all hardware and ropes from its compartments and hand them up to the tiller operator. The ground firefighter will then ascend to topside after he hands up the equipment. Both tail end pieces of the rope will be pulled out of the rope bags and placed into the pulley system. Once the ropes are placed into the pulley system, one firefighter will hold the ropes in place as the second firefighter will walk back the rope bags all the way to the turntable. Once the ropes reach the turntable, utilizing the large carabiners, you can hang them on the railing and then pull out any slack necessary remaining in the ladder. Engineer will then lift the ladder out of the bed. At the same time, the firefighter at the tiller will be holding the ropes so they don't come back down the ladder. In this operation, nothing is hooked up, so the ropes are free to move within the rungs without catching anything. Once the ladder is extended to its minimum, the tiller operator can then pull the lines down to the area of operation to connect the stokes. At this point, like before, the ladder will be in low idle and will be rotating and extending to connect the ropes to the stokes basket. Once the rope system is being connected to the stokes, the engineer and firefighter at the turntable will then assemble the capstan. First, by placing the capstan bar into the ladder itself and pinning it in place. It is important that the rings face forward. This label being upside down sometimes confuses people and they put it the wrong way. Once the bar is placed and pinned, make sure that the ropes are over the actual bar. At this time, you'll utilize the two smaller load straps and connect them to the rings. Right side of the capstan will have a press-fix, carabiner, and strap connected to the ring. And the left side of the capstan pulley will be an MPD. Once both connections are made, the operator then can slowly lift the stokes to a waist-high position. At this point in time, the ground crew will check the straps on the stokes, make sure everything's equal.
Truck 1, Riverside.
In addition, on the top side, you want to make sure both ropes are tensioned equally, so not one side is loaded from the other. So in this operation, you can use the ladder to do large movements, but you need to understand the dynamics. In this operation, we are extending. In turn, it is sucking up the rope into the pulley system. And as you retract, the stokes will lower because the ropes are getting longer in the pulley system. As you raise the ladder, the stokes will suck back towards the apparatus. And as you lower the ladder, it'll push away from the apparatus. In this operation, the operator is retracting and lifting the ladder, which keeps the stokes level. In this operation, the operator is lowering and extending, which also keeps the stokes in a level altitude. These are more complex moves. If you're at a truck company house, you can practice them during drill. When moving the ladder with the stokes to the area of operation, 3 people minimum need to be at the turntable to operate. We have one operating the actual ladder itself, one firefighter on the main line, one firefighter on the belay line. If any adjustments need to be made, the two firefighters can adjust, lower the stokes to give more line. And as you lift, rotate, and extend, the operator will have eyes on the stokes to make sure that it doesn't end up into the tip of the ladder. Down below, you will have a spotter, a rescue crew, also attending to a tag line to get into the area of operation. Once again, all these evolutions are done in slow or low idle. Once the stokes is precisely placed over the hole, the rigging team can then lower the stokes manually. Keep in mind, this is only done with just gear itself, so it is pretty lightweight. At no point in time will you be using this operation with a victim or patient placed in the stokes. At that time, the rigging crew will switch over to the capstan haul system. You will do 3 round turns, with the 4th turn around what's called the beak or tooth of the capstan, and then you will pull and set it into the jaws of the capstan, locking the rope in place. Once the patient is packaged and ready to be retrieved out of the confined area, one operator will operate the MPD, another one will tend to the pressix, and a third will crank the capstan. Rope will automatically pay out on the left side of the capstan. In many situations with heavy weight, it may be necessary to use a third person to operate the crane. Operating the capstan in a clockwise motion gives you a 6-to-1 mechanical advantage. This will be easier to operate the crank, but the rope will move slower. Operating in the counterclockwise position will give you a 2-to-1 mechanical advantage. It'll be heavier or harder to crank, but the rope will move a lot quicker. Once the stokes is removed from the confined space or close proximity area, you can then lock off your MPD and lock off your pressing. Once both ropes are locked off, the engineer or operator can use the ladder for big adjustments. Keep in mind, as before, when you're retracting or extending, that greatly affects the stokes at the end of the rope.